So Powersheds was founded 5 years ago by myself and a colleague, Simon. So we worked in another shed company for many years. I was there for 11 years. Simon was there for 27 years. And we decided that we could set up and do this ourselves. So the first thing we did is we contacted the Adventure program, and we tried to see if we could get any support in terms of advice or funding. And we had a short conversation with Alan Thompson, who sat over there in a Marks and Spencer's cafe in just near Horsforth, and we asked him what support we could get, and Alan was very helpful to give us some advice. First thing he said is that we needed to write a business plan, so that's what we went and did. We went away and wrote a business plan. We handed our notices in, and we set up Powersheds. So at the time it was 6 weeks to get a garden shed in the middle of summer, so we decided to try and do something different to bring that lead time down. So we brought out our concept around a modular shed. So this is an 8 foot by 6 foot shed. If you imagine an 8 foot long panel and a 6 foot long panel, we broke it down into 2 4 foot sections and a 4 foot and a 2 foot section. So that gives the advantages. It was modular, so it means it had manufacturing scalability. So as well as an 8 foot, we could do a 12 foot or a 16 foot or a 20 foot just by adding on the modular sections. And the other advantage is that you could put the door and window wherever you wanted to put it as you built it. So you could put it to the left, you could put it to the right, you could put it at the end. So the customer has that adaptability and flexibility when they assemble the shed by having it at the end, or at the side to the left, or at the side to the right. And the biggest advantage of doing a modular shed was so that it could fit on a pallet. And that means we could send it through the pallet delivery network. And that gave us the opportunity to offer a 3-day delivery or a pick your own delivery date. So something that was unmatched in the industry, and it was quicker than anybody else, and more convenient to deliver. The other big advantages are, so we took all the learnings from our prior experience. So we wrote down a list of every single complaint that anyone would ever make about a shed. And in our design, we tried to eliminate every one of those complaints. So if someone would complain that they had styrene windows, we came up with toughened glass. Someone would complain that the felt would always tear, so we brought our polyester backing on the felt, which made it really difficult to tear. We put braced in the panels, so we did everything we can to give us a load of USPs to make our sheds not only a higher quality product, but then something that's fast to deliver. And that helped us on our way to our growth story. So we leased a small factory in 2019 on the Euroway trading estate in Bradford. We had no investment externally, we just had a bit of money that we saved up and put into the company. After 1 year, we were producing 300 sheds a week with 36 members of staff. In that first year, we did a £1 million in revenue with a £90,000 profit. After 1 extra year, we had to move out of that premises because we'd outgrown it after only a year, even though it was a 5-year lease. So we moved down the road, which was a 44,000 square foot site. And in there, we've been up to 700 sheds a week with 80 members of staff. We've retained the old premises to manufacture log cabins, but we outgrew that space and we moved that space into a second factory, which is 40,000 square foot further up from the Euroway trading estate in Bradford. So we now have 2 large sites, one producing garden sheds and one producing log cabins. So it was a fast growth story over 5 years, which we managed to grow year on year. So the core range is sheds. So we have the modular shed, which I've already gone through. And we try and set our brand in something that's a bit different to the industry. So it's quite an old-fashioned industry. Images of people in Wellington boots and a garden fork, where we try to put something a bit different to it. So it's a more contemporary, aspirational look and feel. There's concrete backgrounds to give that subtle feeling of that longevity and strength. And the imagery and branding is different. I still feel the shed industry is a very unbranded industry. Not many brands are well known in garden sheds. So to try and create a brand and turn it into a branded market is the aim that we have at Powersheds. I think there's no manufacturer with more than a 5% market share, so there's a big opportunity for somebody to step up and become the big brand. And that's what we're trying to do with our brand. The images, they look real, but they're all rendered graphics, and it just shows that how digital can make something, something look so real and so cost effective. So each one of these images might be a few £100s each, and it's much cheaper than setting up a photographer studio. and trying to get some sun in the UK, which is difficult at the best of time. So we're looking to continue with the brand. So next year we plan to do a national TV advertising campaign. The website has recently been re-platformed. So we started on WooCommerce, which was a low-cost platform. The website's outgrown that, and so we've had to re-platform onto a like it's called headless. So we've got Shopify Plus as the front end and Sanity as the back end to give us that tech that nobody else has. So it's got the fastest website out of the industry, and it's also, I think, the best looking and slickest website, which will help us continue that growth. The other side of the business was we diversified was log cabins. So this is certainly prevalent for those who are looking to work at home or to have a home office or gym. And this is something that, again, is proving really popular. It's a bit bigger and more expensive than a garden shed, but a part of the business that can really grow. And we can offer bespoke products, so we can do any size, any configuration, and doors and windows, again, in different styles and positioned anywhere they want. And then we diversified even more, so we've brought out other things. We've got bike sheds, potting sheds, carports, gazebos, pergolas, decking kits, anything out of timber for the garden is how we've diversified and how we've continued to look to grow. So, as we got mentioned before, we're the most awarded shed company in the UK. We've won lots of different awards for the 5 years we've run. The Sunday Times top 20 fastest growing companies, and we were the fastest growing company in Yorkshire, according to Ward Hadaway, who go by the company house records. And then in 2022, we got a lot of attention from private equity or companies who either wanted to invest in us or buy us out. And we only ever wanted to take anything on from someone who could offer something more than just financial capital. So we decided to partner with BSW Group, who are the largest timber forestry milling group in the UK, and they are owned by Binderholz, who's the largest timber forestry milling group in Europe and fourth largest in the world. They have an annual revenue of 3 billion, and they purchased 50% of Powersheds in 2022 to help us continue our growth, not only in the UK, but internationally as well. They helped us network with some of the leading suppliers in the UK. So we're now selling sheds through Wickes, Travis Perkins, Wakefair, MKM, Juice and Tool Station, and many others. And that list continues as they help us to access their network of contacts. And the biggest thing that they're helping us to do is to become international. So at the beginning of last year, we launched in Germany. So we set up a Powersheds GmbH subsidiary, which is wholly owned by the UK company. And we started selling in Wayfair and online in Germany. And Binderholz are now connecting us with the biggest retailers in Germany. We've also launched in Ireland. We're just about to go live on B&Q in Ireland as well. We re-platformed, as I said, in 2024, with the next few years planning to launch into other countries in Europe as well. The advantage of a pallet-based shed is that it's like sending something through the post. You can send it through the European pallet network, so it can go across borders fairly easily without its administrative challenges setting up companies in the EU. The long-term goal is to launch in the US. We know we can't really send a shed so easily in the US, so if we had to launch in the US, we would have to manufacture in the US. So we've already had a funded trip from the Department of Trade to the US to do some research, and we feel that is the long-term goal for the company, which is where we think we can become the biggest brand in the world for sheds. So that's me, thank you. That's our Instagram page. If anyone wants to follow Powersheds on Instagram, that would be fantastic.
Right, give a round of applause. Thanks very much, Jack.